helper, and then the next thing I know, he took a knife. And he tried to
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ann Brown on the line all the way from Accokeek, Maryland. We are recorded, and welcome to our Saturday morning, March 21st, Focus Forward session. And I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've had that session with travel, with the empowerment tea, with everything that we've been doing. But I thought right now, we get to document because most of us are at home because of the coronavirus, and there won't be another time like this. And so this is a great time to kind of document what we're doing, and we can revisit at other times as well, looking at our video. So today we're going to be talking about, I thought we'd be talking about training and some of the things that we could do to kind of make sure that we're staying new and fresh, and make sure that we're staying on the cutting edge. Now, I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning, for logging in. And if you are, and if you could, if you're not talking, definitely put your phone, and your mic on mute. We're hearing a little bit of background noise. However, during this time, a lot of what I'm finding is a lot of people are feeling like, oh, now nobody's traveling. What can I do? No one's really looking for a business right now. What can I do? Or this business isn't working, or this isn't the time, or what should I say to someone, or how should I be? Or, right now people are dealing with a lot of things. So are they really thinking about travel? And so this is also a lot of time when a lot of us are spending time on the internet. We're actually doing various things. I know I'm working from home, and I don't know about you. If you're working from home, I seem to, and number one, because we're working from home, we have more meetings. So even like the meeting that you might have with your coworker who might be a couple doors down or in another queue, now you're finding yourself having to schedule that on your calendar just to kind of run through things. And so it's just, to me, it's shifting from actually being in an office environment to actually being able to work from home. This week I had several conference calls that were video chats, and that was cool because I felt like we were still connecting. Sometimes when you're on a conference call and you don't see people, sometimes it's difficult to feel like you're connecting. And so that's where this Zoom technology is huge, because it allows us to still connect even though we're in an environment working from home. So what can I do? I'm going to invite Michelle Thomas on to actually speak this morning, because we were just talking about something and she just shared something. And I'm not sure which website this was. I'm going to try to pull it up. But she was just talking about some of the things that she was surprised to find in terms of things that are happening via the internet. We've talked on our calls, on our weekly call. I think Vincent Payton actually did his training on make sure that you're doing your training, that you're staying up to date, because when this thing passes, people are going to be ready to go. I'm already ready to go. I just told Nick, I said, why don't we just get in the car and ride down to the beach, spend the day at the beach and ride on back. And we don't have to see anybody. We could just go and look at the beach. Well, guess what? We were thinking about going to Ocean City. And just last night, we were watching the news and they've quarantined Ocean City, the beach at Ocean City. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like they were reading our minds. But I'm feeling a little stir crazy. So I know this morning after this, I'm going to put on my tennis shoes and if nothing else, walk up and down the street. Or maybe, I don't know if I want to go to a park, but I feel comfortable enough walking up and down the street or walking through my neighborhood. And guess what? While I do that, I could do some flyers. and put those out as well while I'm getting my walk on. But it's a way to get some exercise going. And even though even though I have a treadmill and I really should be spending more time on the treadmill, I'm itching to be able to go outside to kind of get some fresh air and see some things as well. So I'm sure you probably feel the same. Just last night, a couple of days ago when it was warm, not yesterday, we sat out on the deck because it was a beautiful day in the DC area. We just sat out there and ate lunch and had a great time, talked and stuff, and it was great feeling the sun on our skin, and just and it was just a great feeling, and instead of being in the house. And so one of the things that Michelle and I started talking about this morning was that I'm not the only one. People are feeling this way too. Michelle Thomas. Michelle is a leader in our industry. She's doing some fabulous things with her and her team. She's always at all the events, and she's a phenomenal presenter. If you have not seen her presentation, she is absolutely phenomenal. A great combination of Southern charm and wit, along with the facts and what you need to know in terms of our business. So I want Michelle to unmute her line and kind of share with us again what she was sharing with us earlier in terms of just, what she was surprised to find in terms of people's responses on a group that she's in. I think a Facebook group. Michelle, could you tell us what you were just sharing with us not too long ago?
Yes, Ann, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, you know what, Ann? I just want to give you kudos, and I just want to thank you for your leadership and for your commitment and your determination as a successful business owner. And I'm just so happy to be in partnership with you, and I respect you so much with everything that you were doing. And I think,
Thank you.
you keep me motivated. I mean, this is a time of staying connected. And you are providing that, through your ongoing and consistent platform. So I respect that and appreciate that so much. And
Well,
that's so
thank you.
important in our industry, with our business, is that we are, a family, and we definitely maintain connections. But thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, to share, because I am experiencing where many people probably are in this time, with mixed emotions about moving forward with your business, having compassion for what's going on, having apprehension about, well, what do I do? How do I, stay optimistic about, what's going to happen in the future, in terms of travel, and people's attitude, about it. Are they going to retract? Are they going to be open? How do you talk to people? Is this a time to celebrate and be excited about something in this time where people are suffering and kind of dismal? So how dare us talk about life and enjoying it, moving forward? But um, I was looking, on Facebook, and we do have, a group where you can follow and track the Carnival cruise customers and those who are very passionate about cruising. And it was just amazing, the community that they've created in this time, and they are just so optimistic, so excited, and they are not the least bit dismayed about what's going on. All they're thinking about is their next cruise in, and they are already looking for the bargains and talking about, oh my God, you can get a steal with your next cruise. We're going in October, November. They're posting pictures of the cruise ships in the docks, thinking about, oh, look at, the Carnival sensation. Look at the Liberty. She's sitting there so sad. We can't wait to get back on her. And please post your pictures of the most exciting or fun video of your last cruise. What was your last cruise? What was your favorite dessert on the cruise? I mean, it is just amazing to me, that they are keeping each other lifted up. And the videos of people sitting at their couches in the living room watching a video of the cruise and the water, sipping on a drink and with an umbrella in it. So that just shows that, you know what, you have to look at the glass half full. And you have to understand that, it's all your perception. It's all about your perception and how you perceive and how you believe. And that's what's going to help you succeed, right? So you have to keep that in mind and realize that this too shall pass, and these circumstances will not last. You know what I mean? And so you just have to keep moving and look at this as an opportunity to touch the hearts and minds of those who are now rethinking and reevaluating their situations and their circumstances, and really want to make a change and take advantage of what is going to happen on the other side of that. So it's definitely changed my attitude, and I'm just re-strategizing and thinking, how can I contribute and harness that energy and help them get back in the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. And we've just had business partners who come back from Bali. I mean, and while we're over here, in distress and in, a time where it's uncertain and people are being affected, by the virus, they were over there in like a sanctuary. They were so unbothered, so blessed, so just disconnected from all of this. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Bali was a location that had, if not no cases, very minimal cases. I mean, they were just kind of isolated. And it was like, oh my God, they were just having a good time. They were just in paradise. And they were just blessed. They were covered. And you know what? It really increased my belief and my faith, and that God will bless you. He will cover you. You just have to have faith and believe that he will get you through this. And with the right attitude, mindset, and activity, you can get through it, and you can really come out, on top. So I would definitely, if you have some doubt, just tune in to the Facebook group. Is YGB Travel Loves Carnival Cruise. And they are just really lifting each other up and very, very optimistic about what they will have to look forward to. And Carnival, they too are suffering, but I just noticed in the news that they are actually offering some of their cruise ships as hospitals.
I was
So
going to, Michelle, I was just going to mention that.
yeah,
I was proud of them when I
yeah,
read that article. I said, you know what? Even though they're suffering, they're giving back. And
yes,
what a great, what a great message. What a great
hmm,
message it is for all of us agents. This is an opportunity. And I saw so many other people putting things together and giving back. I know I still have, and I'm sad to say, but people brought toiletry items to the women's empowerment tea, and I still have a box of toiletry items in my car that I need to take to the women's shelter. And I was
hmm,
thinking, you know what? I could do that today. Drop them off and just say, hey, this is from the women who came to the tea.
yes,
And so I think they have something in terms of during this time, we're searching while we're looking for ways to make money, but also search for ways to give. There's
hmm,
always an opportunity to give.
absolutely,
And so it's so when you were talking about the carnival web page, fan Facebook page, that was the first thought I had, but I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and complete your thought.
well, no, absolutely. So in this time, you do have to look at the organizations. Like they say, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. Like Disney was giving all of that food and their resources. They was putting that back in the community. And I just read or saw either online, MGM, and the National Harbor is doing the same thing. They're just packaging up all that stuff, all their food and supplies, and they're putting them back, into the community, right? So um it's definitely a time where reconnecting. And I think I was seeing on also a posting on Facebook where it says that this is a time where the grocery store workers, the bus drivers, and people who otherwise, you just kind of take them for granted, that they're more important now than the stars and the athletes and the actors. You know what I'm saying? It is the people who give us service all the time that we might, you might overlook. And the healthcare workers are just in the front line. And I just say, oh my God, if that is not an illustration of giving, I just don't know. So it's really making you, think about your own commitment and what are you doing, to give. How can you help someone? And during this time, we have an amazing business, but people do come first, and you have to have you know um commitment and compassion, and or it's all about relationships, right? So you have to have a heart for the people first, and reach out in a genuine way to say, you know what, how can what we have help you, so that you can put yourself in a better situation next time. I mean, all the restaurant workers, it is something. And in our government, at the federal level, there's just so much disconnect, at that level. And but you can see leadership, you can see, people really raising the bar and just stepping forward, and trying to make a difference in saving lives and helping people. And Governor Cuomo and our Governor Hogan, I mean, they are just, to me, are doing an amazing job as leadership, as leaders, and taking charge, and really trying to help people. So we have to think about that as well, and tap into what people need right now, the hope, right? And going forward. So we should not be sitting back saying, oh my God, woe is me. What can we do? Do what we do. And now is the time to do it even more than we were before. So, that was just what the conversation, because, you have to tap into the resources, tap into people, and, it'll help lift you up, right? Change your whole
Absolutely.
perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way I feel. And so that leads into our first comment. And thank you so much. What can I do? Sometimes things seem so much bigger than us. But sometimes when we think about the fact that, and these are things that we've talked about before in our business, instead of going halfway across the world, have you reached out to your neighbor? Have you walked, just went next door and said, hey, how y'all doing? Do y'all need anything? Is there anything I could do? Especially elderly people. Have we exhausted the possibilities? Someone said that they went through, and I know we have some toiletry items as well, the little miniatures. And so someone actually went through their miniatures, the various toiletry items, and they found all of these little bottles of hand sanitizer. And so they kept what they needed, but they had so many that they gave a couple to a couple of neighbors to say, hey, here's some hand sanitizer, put it in your purse. This is something extra. Just imagine if we as travel professionals, if we decided, hey, we're going to make sure we have hand sanitizer and get your logo and put your brand on it so that people know where it came from. So now it might be a brand name hand sanitizer, but maybe you put your sticker on there that said, hey, this is a gift from Michelle McDaniel. This is a gift from Michelle Thomas. This is a gift from Ann and Nick Brown. And, when you are ready to travel, go to this particular site or give me a call. I mean, that's huge. And I think people remember that. One thing Michelle was talking we were speaking about also was branding. And I'm sure that you've probably realized that we've changed the brand. And that is, my changing of my brand had to do with my associations. I started getting around different people, movers and shakers, doing different things, people who were speaking, people who were making an impact in their communities. And one of the things that was talked about at the conference was your brand. For instance, this morning, a perfect example is a perfect example of the logo. I recently updated the logos, and this year we came up with Step Up Academy, stepping up in various areas of your life, stepping up in your finances, stepping up in your travel, stepping up in your mentality. Just Step Up Academy and various things. And what we planned to do was have various events under the Step Up Academy umbrella that now promoted that. Step up in your relationship. So our being able to go to the what was the thing, Michelle, we were going to do the room, where you have to figure out how to escape room. Yes, that was going to be a part of the Step Up brand, stepping up your relationships. So everything that we do is a part of stepping up in some aspect of our lives. When you think about that, it also comes under the umbrella of Healing Nations with Vacations, because our company came up with a brand new logo, new colors, a new brand, a new logo, Healing Nation with Vacations. And so when we sat back and thought about that, I was like, okay, how are we going to change this? How are we going to change this narrative? But I encourage you today to realize that was really timely. Healing Nations with Vacations. And guess what? Now we've got an epidemic. Are you kidding me? And so I think this is great, and we should use that. Surge 365, Healing Nations with Vacations, and to be able to now see people in Bali enjoying life and stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen any other travel company doing that. I haven't seen any other, and I know some people may say, oh, that's crazy, but I say that's different. And I say that's giving people hope. And I say that if we use that correctly, it can attract people to us. That, just think, okay, well, while things were going on, the pandemic was going on in the United States, some of our people actually went halfway around the world and found themselves bathing in healing waters and experiencing travel anyway, and beating the odds, and being able to go and come back and successfully. I mean, so I just think that there is a story there, and I haven't put my finger on exactly how it is, but I must admit it made me feel very, very good and proud to be a part of Surge 365. And so what can we do? Well, what are you doing to promote your brand? Or what are you doing to change or tweak your brand so that it fits into the corporate culture? Are you now going to, I mean, just think about this. At the end of this, it might be a great idea to sponsor a trip for healthcare workers. Because guess what? After this, they're probably going to need some vacation time. So wouldn't it be great to sponsor a trip or an event for healthcare workers, a thank you event for healthcare workers? Wouldn't it be great to be able to, like, now go ahead now you can't do it, but once bottled water and those kinds of things become available, or if you want to make your own hand sanitizer, get some bottles, make your own hand sanitizer as a travel company and put your logo on it and give it out to your clients and let them see, wow. And just say, okay, I care about you, for the how impactful for the Women's Empowerment Team. I gave out a water bottle and a box and a little package of Kleenex tissues. And who knew that, hey, people are going to need tissues, and they're going to need with this virus, the one thing they talk about is make sure you're keeping your throat moist, making sure that you're drinking your water. How timely was that? I mean, that was a blessing, but that's such a great, it was just timely. And it was amazing because I was going to put some hand sanitizer in there and I didn't. I just ran out of time and I didn't get a chance to do it. But I was like, man, that would have been so impactful coming off the Women's Empowerment Tea. And boom, somebody sitting there going through their package this week and saying, oh my gosh, the Believe and Succeed group, they knew what was going on all this time. And so it's just amazing when we really challenge ourselves to think out of the box and figure out what we can do instead of thinking about what we can't do. And so right now, we have to begin with the end in mind. If you have not had an opportunity to look at that Netflix film about, let's see, I can't remember the name of it, but I just posted it. But it's about Madam C.J. Walker. Y'all, Friday nights, Nick and I have date night. And just because we were stuck in, yesterday was a really busy date for me. And so I ended up actually getting off work. My last meeting was at 4. And so at 4:30, when I got out of that meeting, I shut down and I was like, I'm not doing anything else. And so Nick was like, well, what do you want to do? And that kind of stuff. And so we ate some leftovers. And I said, well, find a good movie. And I said, not anything about, espionage or blowing stuff up.
And the movie was SelfMade.
Thank you so much. And so that movie, Michelle, have you had a chance to watch it?
No, and I just saw the promotion for it.
It was called SelfMade.
SelfMade. Yes. That's right. Yes. That's right. So Michelle McDaniel, did you have a chance to watch it?
Yes, we watched it last night.
Oh my goodness. Now we can have a conversation. Thank goodness. Michelle McDaniel, that movie inspired me. I got to tell you, that movie inspired me to get up off my butt and get back in gear. Because I'm telling you,
I'm sorry, my internet must be going in and out. You can't hear.
You can't hear me because I hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I couldn't. My internet was going in and out. But we watched SelfMade last night, and it was very enlightening, eye-opening. How she just persevered and made something. She tried to work with the other lady. I was just surprised and amazed. So I liked it. It was very empowering.
Now, but what did you take out of it in relation? At the end, I found myself thinking, and I hope you can hear me, I found myself thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing in my business? How easily am I giving up? And how am I letting these roadblocks stop my vision? Michelle McDaniel, did you think anything like that?
Yes, because I was just saying that no matter what circumstances came her way, she just continued to think beyond that, and she kept getting these visions, seeing how she could succeed and make things better. So yeah, it was like very encouraging to look beyond what you see and look towards the future.
You're absolutely right. And Nick Brown, I know you watched this movie with me, so I'd love for you to chime in as well. But what I got from that was there was one time, and I think Nick and I talk about a bad day. I mean, there was one time when she just seemed like everything, boom, boom, boom. You talk about the devil just beating up on her. I mean, it was just one thing after another. And it was just amazing. And especially, and I could really relate when, and not to tell you about the movie, but when that person came and stole her tea, she went around, she went to do something to better the company. And in that moment, somebody that she trusted stole her top team. I just said, I know how coach must feel that, okay, you done groom and develop these people, and now another company comes and they just move away. And I just thought about that. And I just said, as a leader, just as coach didn't stop. He was just like, okay, we just got to keep going. We got to build somebody else. We got to replace those people. It was just amazing to see how she actually did the same thing. She just said, okay. And no matter what, she survived out of it. That was one of the things that I thought were paralleled with that, one of the many things that paralleled with our business, not to mention some of the, oh my goodness, her main enemies, the people who she was trying to support were the ones that were going against her and stabbing her in her back. I mean, the people on her team, the people she was trying to bring up with her were the ones that hurt her the most. Did you, Nick Brown, did you get anything like that? Or Michelle McDaniel, did y'all think about that at all?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, the people who were very near and dear to her, who she was supporting, building up, thinking about escalating them to the next level. I mean, it just hurt me to see some of the people doing what they did to bring her, to try to bring her down. And that was the other thing. Even with the competitor, she moved away from the competitor so that she could have her own market and not compete with her. And then this woman follows her. I mean, that to me, that's like all those people who had been part of our like you said, got the training and stuff, and then moved out, and then started started another travel business, and started working in some of the same markets. And like the same year that we went and had a convention in St. Louis, they show up the exact same week to launch their company. So that was that parallel there with that. I mean, it was just awesome. Like you said, that one day, her top 5 salespeople leave. She comes back to have one of the biggest meetings with one of the top vendors, and meet the board. And then her number one person who she thought was her supporter comes in a condition that just blew the meeting up, and all of the board of directors from this big company that was going to take her to the next level said, well, if this person is on your team or part of your business, then we're going to back out. So it just seemed like every time she would take 2 steps forward, take 1 step back, but she never stopped. She was persistent. She was consistent. And she just kept saying, it's my vision, my dream, and nobody is going to stop me. And she stayed steadfast to that, even to those people who was closest to her that seemed like they were trying to sabotage her every which way that they could.
You're absolutely right. That was amazing. And that was another lesson as well that I had to think about. Okay, who do you have showing up on your team? Who, when you're doing stuff, people are not only evaluating you and evaluating your brand, but they're looking at who you're surrounded with. And I know, Nick Brown, you have said this to me, I don't know how many times. You're like, and and although people say, hey, you should not judge. However, we have to realize that one of the things Christopher Coakley talks about is perception is key. And once people perceive you a particular way, it's difficult to get around that. And so that's why you want to dress professionally, especially as women. You don't want to be perceived as someone that might not be as professional as your counterparts. And also in terms of who's showing up on your team? When you come to the weekly meeting, who's coming with you? When you are bringing when you have a travel party and your guests are there, who are they seeing that are part of your team? I remember I was recruiting a young man, and he was also being recruited by another travel company. And I said, well, why? He eventually tried. He went to both meetings, and he eventually decided to go with the other travel company. And I said, why would you? I said, can you just be honest with me? I mean, I said, I'm just interested in what made you make that choice. And he said, well, and he said, honestly, the money is better with you guys. And he said, and he said, your presentation, everything, you guys have more to offer. And he said, but when I got in that room, I felt like I was at home. And at your meeting, when I looked around, I didn't really see anybody that I could really connect to. I didn't really feel like I was at home. He said, I'm a nice dresser. And when I came into that room, there weren't that many nice dressers in there. But when I went to the other meeting, people were dressed nicely. So I knew that was something that they valued. And he said, when I went to your presentation, people weren't just the way that they were sitting and the way they were carrying themselves. He said, when I went into their meeting, it was nothing but straight confidence. You could feel the confidence and the way people were carrying, people were standing up, people had notes. He said it made it feel like I was in a professional business meeting, and this is where I needed to be. And he said, and even though it was travel, he said, and it was just a totally different feel for someone like me than just coming to a more laxed. And he said, y'all just didn't look like y'all were real business people. And he said, not you did, but the rest of the people in the room did not look like they were about business. And they didn't look like people that I would want to invite to my house. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, I got to be honest with you. When I compared the meetings, when I went to their meeting, these were sharp. They were people that, seemed to be of substance, and I wouldn't mind them being in my house and inviting my friends. When I went to your meeting, I didn't feel that way, with the exception of you and Nick. And he said, we've been friends for a while, and I know how y'all roll. I've been to your home, but the people around you don't seem to support, and the people at that meeting didn't seem to support what you guys are about. And he said, I think y'all should have your own meeting. And I said, well, we don't really, okay. But that was a wake-up call for me. That was a wake-up call for me, because people do identify with the people in the room. And people do, even when you go to a church, you look around and you're like, do I feel comfortable here? Do they have their Bibles? Or, now when I go to church, there's so many people that's reading the Bible on their cell phone. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Or their tablet. Not too many people there's some people who have the Bibles, but people have now migrated and they have their tablets and their cell phones. And so instead of just standing up reciting the word, they're reading the word. And so it also, at Ebenezer, you almost feel a little out of place if you don't have a Bible or a cell phone or something that you read yourself, because that's just what's expected. And so when that person is still with that company today, not making a whole lot of money, but he just loves being in that environment and being in that culture. And so when we think about that, we have to think about especially when we're bringing people to meetings, and how we're showing up as well. and also being able to speak with people. And I remember when we had a particular director, and it's almost time. We had a particular director who really talked about how you showed up, how you sat in a meeting, and how you represented yourself, how you introduced, and we had trainings about and all of that, and we gotten away from that, and people kind of have a little more. Some people take a little more lax approach, and it really costs us in terms of our brand and what we represent. Did anybody else feel that way, or have you ever gotten any comments like that? Anybody else care to comment?
Well, and I haven't experienced what you've experienced, but in the trainings that we've had consistently regarding building your business and holding the business events, whether it's a travel party, if it's a weekly meeting, if it's a convention, or whatever venue that we have for our business, there are just certain standards that we have, and one of them is like you said, our president, Dr. Christopher Copley, he does say that perception is key, and you don't get a second time to make a first impression. So how they feel when they walk in your weekly meeting, from the person that's sitting in the front, signing them in, to the people that are escorting them in, everything matters. How you look depicts how you feel about yourself, and more importantly, how you feel about your business. Be excited about it, smile, be inviting in your personality, because you don't know what that prospect or what that person, number one, is going through to be there, to get there, what they need in their life. So you just have to always be vigilant and understand that it's bigger than you, and it's not about you. So you have to be the best you all the way around, and it doesn't matter if you only have one dress, wear the same black dress every event, because it doesn't matter if I've seen it 50 times, and it's not about me. I don't care, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to worry about, it ain't about you. I'm not wearing that same, black dress for you, or for Nick, or for anybody. I'm wearing it for the person who hadn't seen me yet, or the person who, I'm trying to make a difference for. And when I say it's bigger than you, it's bigger than you in a respect for the benefit of the prospect, but it's also for the benefit of the team and the other business owners, because you not only make an impression for your prospects, but you're making a difference for your other business partners just by being there, showing up, and making that impression also for them, because their prospects are doing the same thing. They are looking at the environment. So you have a role to create the environment for everyone to be impactful for the team, because everything that you're doing is going to affect, the result. You are helping to get someone else paid, right? I think I remember, I forget which leader was saying that, maybe Malcolm, because he always talks about that. It's like, it's showtime, right? So you got to come on point and realize that your being there is not just about you, but it's about you too. And my being there, how I present myself and what I do impacts you. So, that's just kind of my take on what you're saying about, the environment and what we're creating, to build our business.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And I just think, I think that something that one of our leaders used to tell us a long time ago, that in our communities, Coach can come, and even they've changed it. But you remember Coach used to come with a little Hawaiian shirt on and some shorts and that kind of stuff. And I remember Nick is saying one day, he said, well, why can't we come with Hawaiian shirts on? Coach, that's the way Coach represents himself. And somebody had to sit us down and said, well, wait a minute, our community, then the people in your environment are going to take things differently. In our community, we have to, no matter what, you have to dress above the sharpest dress, try to dress above the sharpest dressed person in the room, because in our community, in our environment, in the Washington, D.C. area, we are conditioned to look for certain things. We want to be around certain people. We want to have nice things. So if you show up and you're saying you're a millionaire, you show up in some jeans and a Hawaiian shirt, people are not going to believe you. In our environment, they're just like, no, you just don't. So you have to kind of look that role, and you got to put your best foot forward. Coach has already made his millions, so he doesn't have to prove it because he's already there. And so he's got the bank account to prove it. So if you don't have the bank account to prove it, that means you're going to have to step up your game to get the team members and for people to see you as a millionaire before you even get there. And that was just like, wow. They said, people have to see you as a leader. People have to see you as someone that they want to follow, someone that they want to be in relationship with, in business with. And so that starts with how you present yourself. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And so, y'all, we have totally run out of time, and we were totally off topic the entire time. And so I just wanted to thank y'all for participating this morning. And I want to thank everybody who's listening to this or watching this at a later time, because you may not have been able to log on this Saturday morning. However, I want to thank you for whenever you're taking the time to look at this training and just be committed to getting to that next level. So what can you do? Just think about the things that you can do and not what you can't do. And begin with the end in mind. Have your vision. And believe me, if you want to have a great example of vision, watch that movie, SelfMade. Watch that movie, because she was so committed to her vision. And her vision included more than just her. It was much bigger than that. She really wanted to help women just become more successful and financially secure. And so just imagine if we adopted that same vision or just helping families like Coach, wanting to create 10,000 millionaires. That's huge. And so begin with the end in mind. I encourage you to recommit to your vision. And the last bullet is supposed to say training, but it says training. Sorry about that. However, it's all about training. Go into your back office and see some of the things that you can do. Go ahead and take a certification class today. Definitely log into your back office. Go to Travel Agent University and take one of the certifications and post your certificate in the group today. Instead of watching TV, get certified for something. I know I plan on logging into my CLIA account and taking at least one CLIA class today towards my ACC. Why not? I already paid for it. I need to go on and take it. So do what we got to do. Maybe practice going through your objections. If you have the DVD, if you have some DVDs that you might want to review those. Just get stronger so that during this time you're working out. Like when you work out, let's say if someone has to, if a guy or no, whatever, anybody has a competition, they diet and they work out. So when it's showtime, their bodies are cut and chiseled, and they are presenting the best form of themselves. And so I encourage us to definitely utilize this time to work out, to do what we need to do. So when it's time to step out there, we are presenting the best form of ourselves. Y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us this morning. Have a great day. Good night. It is time for us to move on. We've gone overtime, but I'm telling you, this discussion was great this morning. Hey, Katrina Ellis. We are closing down. Thank you for joining us. Definitely catch the recording because this was a good one this morning. a good one. So y'all, thank y'all so much for participating. Y'all have a great day. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you at the top. Stay tuned because we're going to put some things in place. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ann.
Bye-bye.